2025 has been a contender for all-time best with the release of Switch 2 and the range it has begun to reclaim for Nintendo fans, a range that we haven't seen since the days of GameCube. And 2026 is shaping up to be an even better year. I figured what better way to highlight that than by ranking every confirmed game and as close to release order so you know what games to look forward to, maybe even wish lists for the coming year. To be clear, these are games exclusively with Switch 2 versions because we would be here for hours if we included games playable through backward compatibility as well. This alone is nearly 100 games with several new additions happening during my time working on this video. The tiers with their general rationale from top to bottom are S, already pre-ordered, in my heart. A, day one purchase. B, might get eventually and or if friends do. C, looks okay, but not for me. D, boring. F, hard pass, and the bottom tier is ungraded. No idea what this is. Nintendo is starting the year off strong with the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the second best-selling game on Switch, Animal Crossing New Horizons, which brings with it a host of new features that I'm sure will push a decent amount of last-gen holdouts over the edge to upgrade. And for that reason, it's an easy top contender. But I'll say for me, it's not as exciting since although I do enjoy Animal Crossing, I'm out of my active New Horizons phase. Definitely going to jump in to check out the new features and add tooling to my island though, so I gotta throw this in A tier. The Legend of Heroes Trials Beyond the Horizon is the first example of a trend we will see a lot in this list, as it shares a release date with another Switch 2 game. Some of these choices will be hard for me. Some I will have to double dip, or maybe more. This isn't one of those. D tier for me. Mio, Memories in Orbit, is a Metroidvania and from what I can tell, a solid option for the people that like that genre, but I am not one of those people, so I gotta put this in C tier. Dynasty Warriors Origins is another game that I don't care about for personal reasons, which ordinarily would mean that it goes in C tier, but this game goes in D tier because the oversaturation of Warriors games is egregious. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is amongst the early Nintendo Switch 2 case studies on how to nail a AAA third-party release on the platform. Some will disagree due to the game key card of it all, but I'm not in that crowd, so this is an easy A for me. Been wanting to play through this for a while, and the convenience of playing on Switch 2 is my ideal way to do it. Dispatch is a game that I have already played to death, and while I regret doing so on my Steam Deck with some of the weird performance issues that I had, I'll probably skip the Switch 2 version. But honestly, now that I think about it, who knows, might double dip to do a stream playthrough, so we'll throw it in B tier because I did enjoy this game a lot. The Rumblefish 2 Nintendo Switch 2 edition goes in ungraded tier. Didn't know about it before, and now that I do, it still doesn't grab me. And while we're at it, the Nintendo Switch 2 editions for Card LCL and Core Keeper are in the same boat, as is this game I don't know how to pronounce. 4PGP 4-player Grand Prix is not my vibe. I'm down for a kart racer every now and then. Regular ass cars, I'll pass, mostly. D tier. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is a turn-based JRPG, and there's not a single Charizard or even a Pikachu, so I have no interest, but I acknowledge how exciting it may be for fans of this historic franchise, so I'll put it in C tier. When it comes to PGA Tour 2K25, it may be surprising for some, but there is absolutely a genre of person that only engages with gaming, especially in America where I live, through the context of 2K and EA sports games. That's not me though, so this gets a C tier. Chromo Gun 2 Die Hard is another game that doesn't do it for me, so that goes in the ungraded tier. However, Mario Tennis Fever is releasing on that same very day, and I will absolutely be getting that. I have high hopes for that game being a return to form after Mario sports games dropped the ball heavily last gen, in my opinion. And that's not all. Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties is also coming out that day. I do have some interest in one day checking out a Yakuza game, but this one isn't looking appealing to me, especially given its release date. Going to throw it in C tier. That said, Reanimal is releasing the next day, and I do think this is a game I will be picking up to play through with friends, so this game is going in B tier. The following week, Gear Club Unlimited 3 comes out, and like I said, not big on the non-silly goofy racing games, so I'm gonna have to give this a D tier placement. East 10 Proud Nordics releases the following day, and I played a game in this franchise last gen in the early Switch 1 days. Didn't do much for me, C tier. City Hunter and Daisen Ryaku SSB2 are two more games I know nothing about, so they both go in the ungraded tier, but we're rounding out February with another S tier game because Capcom is dropping Resident Evil 7, 8, and 9 at the end of the month, and I will be copping the Resident Evil Generation Pack, as should anyone interested in Requiem, because $80 for 3 games is a fantastic deal. March 2026 starts off strange with Pokemon Pokopia on March 5th, and I'm personally morbidly curious. I don't know if they'll stick the landing, but on the off chance they do, I'll be there to see it, even if I'm not particularly excited for it. Pokemon Pokopia goes in A tier for me. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake comes out the following week, and Fatal Frame is another franchise I've had interest in checking out for a while. This may be the time for me to do that, especially if Pokopia doesn't grab me as much as I hope that it does. B tier. R-Type Tactics 1-2 Cosmos, on the other hand, releasing the same day, I know nothing about, ungraded tier. The following day, Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection is a game I'm going to check out for video purposes. I like Monster Hunter as a franchise. I'm intrigued by the concept of recontextualizing that world. A tier. Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered is not for me. I think that formula is stale and oversaturated. D tier. That same day though, Mouse PI for Hire releases, and I am all about games with art styles like this. I think the concept is one of the better uses of public domain. I will be present and accounted for when this drops. S tier. The next 3 games, Cyverior 3, Rushing Beat X Return of Brawl Brothers, Winning Post 10 2026 are all going in ungraded tier. 007 First Light though is our next S tier candidate. I have high hopes that this game will be another moment akin to Resident Evil Requiem. High quality AAA third party title releasing day and date on Switch 2. Something I think will be an increasing trend as we go throughout the year, and this game is a big reason for my belief in that. Opus Prism Peak is the first game in this video where the date isn't set in stone as we close out March. This game isn't on my radar though, ungraded. And with that, we're officially entering No Man's Land. Most of these games don't have confirmed dates, and the further we get, the less info we generally have on release timing. If you're still locked in, like and subscribe if you like tier lists and would like to see more in the future. Sourcing this tier list alone took hours. Also, while you're at it, feel free to comment all the games you think you might be picking up next year. Kingdom's Return, Time Eating Fruit, and The Ancient Monster is our first confirmed April release, and that's the extent of my knowledge on it, so I gotta throw it in ungraded. However, releasing the following day, Pragmata is my next S tier title. Again, Capcom is killing it with their Switch 2 support and has generally been on a tear for a few years now, so this is a game I immediately decided to get when it was confirmed for Switch 2. S tier. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight is releasing at the end of May and is something I would ordinarily get if friends wanted to, but it's apparently not getting online co-op support, so I am gonna have to demote it to C tier. R-Type Dimensions 3 is our final confirmed May release, and much like the other R-Type game, I gotta throw it in ungraded because I have no idea what this franchise is. The Binding of Isaac Repentance Plus isn't for me. Tried the original game last gen, didn't grab me, but I know others love it and I don't actively hate it, so C tier. Lovish, Pastry Panic, and Star Bites add to the list of games that I will reserve judgment for and throw in ungraded. South at Midnight is an easy S tier. Love what I played of this game on my Series X, but I'd much rather play it on Switch 2 for various reasons. It's one of my most anticipated releases because it was my most anticipated 2025 game that I couldn't fully experience this year, so I'm excited to experience it this coming spring. Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meet Up in Bella Bell Park is an easy D tier for me. Wonder felt like a new Super Mario Bros. Game in a trench coat, so I have no interest in jumping back in for this. Suika Planet is a game that's set to come out in 2026 outside of Japan, and it's a follow-up to a game that was one of my favorite games the year that came out, so I will absolutely be playing this, although I might wait a little bit. Carmageddon Rogue Shift is another ungraded game for reasons I already talked about ad nauseum with the other car games. Human Fall Flat Nintendo Switch 2 Edition goes in C tier. It would be in B tier, but that ship has passed. Got my fill of this game with friends a long time ago. Order Up is a game I know I played before, but it wasn't super memorable, so I gotta put it in C tier. I don't really know what Outbound is, so it's definitely ungraded tier. Yoshi in the Mysterious Book is another S tier contender for me. I've enjoyed the last two Yoshi releases on Switch and Wii U. They're no Yoshi's Island, of course, but they were fun enough for me to feel confident that the next entry on Switch 2 will be as well. Hono Garashi no Niwa and Shuten Order Nintendo Switch 2 Edition are both games that I barely even know if I'm pronouncing them right. And if that doesn't qualify for ungraded tier, I don't know what does. And now we're at the crowd of games that are in the vast majority. Games that don't have a date at all, or even a real window beyond the fact that they're coming out in 2026. The only logical way to order these from this point on would be alphabetically. So let's get through these. Kevin Kenton told me that The Adventures of Elliot has top-down Zelda vibes, given the fact that prior to Breath of the Wild, the vast majority of actually good Zelda games are top-down. I'm putting this game in B tier. I'm definitely going to check it out at least. Eternal Lucius is another game that I only know about from researching for this video. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It goes in ungraded. Avatar Legends, the fighting game, has a whack-ass name, and I really want these licensed anime games to pick a new style of fighting game for once. But I am curious to check this out if I know anybody that will play it with me. So it goes in B tier. Back to the Dawn is another game I only know about because of making this video, and so is Bestiario, if that's how you say it. They didn't pique my interest at all. And I'm not a child or a person with one, so Bluey's quest for the gold pen goes with those two, and that means back to back to back ungraded tier. Bubsy 4D, on the other hand, is a game I do know about and am morally opposed to, and am therefore throwing it in F tier. I do not care who wants to pretend they're angry about it. Content Warning is one of those games that I've wanted to play with friends, but I am not a PC gamer, so if friends are still down to jump on, I will definitely pick this up. B tier. Detopia is another game I know little about, therefore don't have a strong enough opinion, so it's going in ungraded tier. Danganronpa 2x2 2x2, I don't know, but I do know it's definitely not a game for me, and it's not necessarily because I think it's bad, but I know it has its fans, so C tier for this list. Darwin's Paradox immediately caught my attention when I saw it during a PlayStation State of Play of all places, and is one of those games that I definitely want to play, but isn't necessarily top of mind, so it goes in A tier. Demi in the Fractured Dream looks interesting to me, but I don't know enough to say for sure that I will get it. B tier. Depth Loop isn't doing anything for me. I gotta put it in the ungraded tier. Also, that's some kind of tongue twister.
Flashback.
Depth Loop, and I hate it for that reason alone. Dumb Ways to Party is one of those games I could see friends wanting to pick up for a quick palate cleanser where we have a weekend of silly goofy fun. Might even get a stream or two out of it. B tier. Dungeons of Dusk goes in ungraded, no idea what's going on there. The Duskbloods is one of my most anticipated Switch 2 games and was the moment we saw it announced at the reveal event. I love Bloodborne, easily my top From Software release, so this game having similar vibes already had my attention. But the fact that this game is also centered around online multiplayer is an even bigger selling point for me. I will be picking this game up immediately. Easy S tier. That said, Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is a game that, had it been on track, would have also been another S tier, because I still need to play to truly understand the hype, but it being delayed to 2026 does dampen my excitement a little. It's an A tier release for me. Enter the Gungeon 2 isn't my thing. Played the first game on Switch 1, didn't move me, so this sequel goes in C tier. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition goes directly in F tier. Played this game when it came out and it was a buggy mess that ended in me losing 20 hours of progress. I have sworn that game and honestly the studio that works on it off ever since. Fire Emblem is a franchise that ordinarily wouldn't be for me, but the permadeath element paired with decent character writing has turned me into a fan over the years. Fortune's Weave is another S tier release for me. The Florist is another game I have no strong feelings for, so it goes in ungraded tier. When I saw Hella during Switch 2's first indie world, I was immediately sold, but then they said it was a 2026 game, so it instantly became a tougher sell since I could see other games taking precedent pending timing. But it is another online co-op game that I may play on stream with friends, so B tier. Whether I play Hitman Absolution or not largely depends on how I feel about 007 First Light after having played that. If it's as good of a game as I think it could be, I will probably end up wanting to get this game to experience more of IO's catalog, so I'm putting it in B tier. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a less extreme version of South of Midnight, an Xbox game that interested me, but I ended up skipping because I weaned myself off of that platform. So now that it's coming to Nintendo Switch 2, I will probably check it out. A tier. Infinite Alliance goes in ungraded tier. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop Nintendo Switch 2 Edition is a game I have no interest in. It felt like a dated idea when it came out on Xbox 360, and it feels even more so like a dated idea now. So I'm putting it in D tier. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes Nintendo Switch 2 Edition and Missalia Echoes of the Past are two more games I don't really understand what they have going on, so they're being added to the ungraded tier. Nightmare Busters Rebirth feels egregiously generic to me, D tier. Orbitals and Out of Words were both revealed during the 2025 Game Awards, and when they were revealed, they both got the same reaction out of me and my friend Colton. We're down. They go in B tier. Over the Hill is another game I don't know enough about and is therefore ungraded tier. Phasmophobia is similar to Content Warning for me, a PC game that I've had interest in playing with friends, but refused to do so on PC. So now that it's coming to Switch 2, it's an easy B tier contender for me. Planet of Lana 2 Children of the Leaf is an ungraded tier game. Pokemon Champions is a shaky S tier for me. On some level, I feel obligated to check it out, and who knows, maybe the relative accessibility will make casual battling more appealing to me. But I am notorious for my disdain for the traditional Pokemon battle system, so while I will be checking it out, I don't think I'll enjoy it as much as the other S tiers. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam isn't for me, but I do know people love Professor Layton. It's C tier. Roland Rascal is another one of those games that looks appealing to me at the moment, but very well may be overshadowed depending on what ends up releasing around the same time. I'll throw it in B tier. Sayonara Wild Hearts Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, much like the Switch version, is not for me. C tier. Spine looks cool. It's in the Roland Rascals position for me based on that alone. It could end up being a game I never check out because of other releases, but I want to at the moment. B tier. Splatoon is a franchise I love from the moment it was revealed back in 2014, so you better believe I will be there day zero for its first ever spin-off, Splatoon Raiders, which, to be fair, sort of breaks the rules of this video as it currently doesn't have a confirmed date or window, but this franchise has been historically pretty consistent in terms of having a quick turnaround time, so I feel confident it'll be 2026 when everything's all said and done. But I digress. S tier. Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions, on the other hand, is not for me. C tier. Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War is another ungraded tier game. Tamer Town is a ripoff of a game that in and of itself is void of originality, so it's the easiest F tier in this entire video. Wandering Sword is another ungraded tier game. Both Warframe and Witchbrook are C tiers for me, and with that, we have a full snapshot of Switch 2's 2026, but I do think there's a chance for the next Super Smash Bros. Game, and if I had to rate it, obviously, God tier. Watch my latest video on what I expect to see when it eventually comes out on Nintendo Switch 2. Thank you to paid members over at shop.watchredirect.com like Trev L. Steinberg for making this video possible. Hit the link in the description to join them in the credits of every video and in receiving physical and digital perks.